Hello and welcome to another episode of Sports and Songs Podcast. Andy, it's season 7, episode number 18 tonight. It's the sports edition. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Good. I'm sporting the Minnesota hockey shirt. I see you got the Stats Bar t-shirt on tonight. The
North Star hat.
North Star hat. We just wrapped up with Minnesota State High School League boys hockey tournament. March Madness is officially here. We'll cover all that. We've got lots to cover. Boys and girls basketball up next. But let's start off with the trivia question.
Yes, fire away.
Trivia question. Major League Baseball history. Major League Baseball history. Which player in the major leagues has hit the most home runs over the age of 40 in a Major League Baseball uniform? Over the age of 40. Who leads Major League Baseball career in homers over the age?
I think I got this one.
Of 40. Okay. We'll do the answer. In the meantime, the folks can do their search on their Google machine and whatnot while Andy talks sports.
All right. Minnesota State High School hockey powerhouse displays poor sportsmanship as brutal loss devolves into angry brawl. Edina lost by 2 to Moorhead in the semifinals. What you don't see on camera, and I didn't see it either, I wasn't there, so I'm going from other reports, is Moorhead player had dropped his stick, or a player had dropped their stick. A player for their team kicked it away for he can get it, like a little schoolboy thing, all in the final seconds. Buzzer goes, Moorhead storms the ice, because that's what the winning team does, as Edina guy takes a cheap shot at someone. So here it goes down, and it looks like it's Team Moorhead against 5 Edina guys, because coach for Edina is holding his team back on the bench saying, don't do it. Don't do it. So credit to coach on that one. I just gave credit to an Edina coach. Okay. So credit to him on that. I was really surprised no Moorhead kids got suspended or for the championship game the next day. Because I think it was just a lot of pushing and shoving, not safe for work language, words about your mother and your sister were said probably, and it was left at that. Probably nothing to really suspend from, because you suspend them for this and they lose the next day. There's going to be a whole bunch of barking about that too. So we'll see how that, if anything ever comes of that. But yeah, so Edina lost, BOOHOO. Moorhead moves on to the championship game, and they beat Minnetonka in double overtime. Minnetonka had a 3-0 lead, had a 4-1 lead, and the Potatoes came back slowly, which, again, good coaching on Moorhead's part this time. It's like we say in baseball when you're behind. You can't hit a 5-run homer.
Yeah.
In hockey, you can't get a 3-goal goal. Just get one at a time and chip back. And they did. And they did. And they did. And they held them off in overtime. And they won in this double overtime. So back-to-back for Moorhead. Congratulations to them. Beat my alma mater. I still got respect for your Moorhead. And Minnetonka, I know their starting 5 was all seniors. So odds of them going back next year aren't that good. Moorhead had a nice, young, scrappy team that's won back-to-back. Dare I say dynasty for that team? I don't know.
Well, in Moorhead, if you think back to the Prep Bowl with football, this Moorhead class, or these last few years with the hockey and the football, a good group of athletes up there. These guys are studs, and that's what's going to take to it's nothing easy to win back-to-back state high school hockey tournaments back-to-back, being from the northern cities like this. So they did it. Hats off.
And War Road wins in an overtime game. I saw this game. Their first title since 2005, their 5th overall. Kind of happy for War Road because, guys from up there for the Olympic team, Hockey Town, blah, blah, blah. This game had like 4 goals in the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game. Hibbing was down. They score 1 to tie, 1 to take the lead. War Road gets 1 in the final 30 seconds to tie it. And the announcer said it, and I agree with him. He goes, I don't believe in superstitions, as I don't either. He goes, this game's going to end early in the first couple of minutes because both teams are hot right now. And sure as water's wet, Warworld scored a minute into overtime. It was just electric. Boom, boom, boom. It was. If you watch that last 5 minutes of the third period in overtime, and you're not a high school hockey fan after that, then you don't get it. The adrenaline from the players was great. The fans were great. I was just reading the number beforehand between fans at the G spot and fans over at the 3M building for the consolation games. Over 140,000 people for high school hockey.
And Andy, several times during this weekend, you look on Twitter or X, Minnesota State high school hockey tournament is trending nationwide. That's how big this is. Well, many say it's similar to how big football is in Texas, or hockey is in Minnesota. But when it comes to high school sports, we were at ground zero this weekend. This is huge to have this right there.
And I remember the numbers from last year, and they were the same again this year. The state final game for hockey outdrew 5 NHL games.
It's something else. Yeah, and for the kids playing in it, it's unbelievable. For the guys on the roster, whether you're on the bench at the time of the win or on the ice or a backup or on the JV. I mean, this is huge stuff to get to this level.
And the one thing I noticed this year, and I hope it keeps up because I was a little late to party catching on it, something different than the hockey hair this year. Did you notice after they announced the players, they'd show the coach, and there'd be 2 guys in costumes behind him, either dressed as Ghostbusters or Secret Service or fancy suits. It was kind of fun. It's like, first time I saw it, they go, hey, that's pretty cool. That team did that. What the hell? But then every team was doing it. So it must have been something they planned beforehand or during the season, something this old boy missed out on this year, but something to watch for next year. Girls basketball, here's the brackets. 4A. Okay. Minnetonka is in it. I don't care. No, I didn't say that. Hopkins is in there, your 1 seed. There you got Maple Grove and East Ridge in the middle. Chan is up there. They're in the tournament. Congratulations. 3A, you have the Hill Murrays and the Benildes and Margarets. They kind of seem to be steadies in there all the time. 2A, Central Public School. That's Norwood Young America, folks.
Yes.
They made it. Hats off to them. Mini Academy. Of course, Providence Academy, the 1 seed, is going to go against Central. So that's – and Rochester and Providence kind of are the givens all the time in there. So that should be a good game. And in the 1, our friends at Mayor Lutheran are on there.
Nice.
So there they are. Mountain Iron Bowl, of course, is up there like usual. Sleepy Eye St. Mary's. Keep an eye on them. They'll play Mayor Lutheran. That's going to be a better game than I think.
That'll be good.
Okay, now this I thought, you've heard of a player getting traded like in a baseball. He's had to cross dugouts. St. Louis Blues captain traded to the Islanders. The team was staying in the same hotel. He didn't have to switch rooms. So he was out of town, but they're staying here. I'll just stay in the same room. That's one for the books right there.
He's like, I'm good. Just leave me here.
I don't have to pack. Cool, whatever.
I like it.
The PWHL, that's the Professional Women's Hockey League, sells out Madison Square Garden and Boston's TD Garden. Let's keep that in mind now.
Okay.
$103 was the get-in price for a Rangers game on April 4th. Get-in price for New York Sirens game, which is the women's hockey home game on April 4th, was $169. $66 more to see the girls play.
Jeez.
Just now, granted, the Rangers sucked this year, and the girls are the hottest thing going right now, but still. You're the New York bleeping Rangers, you know. And Team Italy in the World Baseball Classic has a little espresso bar in the dugout.
I did see this.
Now, that makes me wonder and think, is there an espresso bar at the lab in Watertown?
Great question.
Is Pat going to have one down in the clubhouse for the boys down there? Are him and Dusty going to put little coffee machines in the dugouts for the boys?
There could be. We'll have to wait and see.
The lab, unofficial sponsor of the show. We're working with our friends down there. Do a little Crow River preseason game, season preview down from the lab. coming up here soon in the next few weeks. Keep your eyes and ears open. You got questions about the Crow River League, players, teams you got questions of, please send them in. We probably won't ask them, but send them in anyway. Speaking of town ball, the New York Millers have their golf tournament coming up May 22nd. A lot of teams, and we'll try to share these on our site as much as we can. If you want, go ahead and tag our site. We're fine with that. A lot of them have their golf tournaments coming up, or their fish fries for Lent, or a bingo tournament, or whatever they're going to have, selling salt, whatever. Keep an eye for those. It's a great way to support the local teams. All right, here's the men's Big Ten tournament bracket. I got a problem with this. If you're Maryland, Oregon, Penn State, or Northwestern, you want to make a tournament, you got to win 6 games in 6 days. Okay, those first 2 days, I'm tired of everybody makes the tournament crap. Just cut those out. Just start with the top 8 teams in our 16-team conference and go from there. As everybody plays. Now, granted, these schools all have the money to travel. This town makes more money because it's more hotel stays and longer, and win-win for everybody. But really, those first 2 games, those first 2 days, I'm pretty sure there's going to be no one at those games to watch, except for the family of these players.
Yeah.
Why? Why are we? Money's getting wasted, and that's just my inner tightness on this. Yes, I like the underdog story. You got the top 8 teams instead of an underdog. Let's say, for example, Oregon wins the first 2 games, just for argument's sake on this chart. They win the first game, then they beat Iowa, then they go play Ohio State. So Ohio State's now playing a meaningless game in what is their first game, and that's when a guy rolls an ankle, or a guy for Purdue rolls an ankle against a team that has no right being there to start with. Start with the first 8.
Yeah, it's like,
all right, ESPN. I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's kind of like high school sports where you get the section playoffs. Everyone's in. There's no everyone just makes it, whether it's a high school hockey, wrestling,
football,
tournament, football, volleyball. Everyone just makes it. And so now we're getting these conferences that are doing all the same thing, and it puts in these meaningless games where, like you said, Andy, someone could get hurt. No one's going to show up anyway for the attendance. It's going to be weak. Boy, you could start with just 8 teams in the tournament and go from there. But I think you're going to have the teams that finish 9th and 10th say, we got screwed. We should have been in. So you're going to have complaints either way on a thing like this.
If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Yes.
All right. Women's Big Ten tournament ended. UCLA beat Iowa by 51 points. Largest win by a team over an AP top 10 opponent in the NCAA era. So not only did you beat another top 10 team by 51 points, it was in the conference championship game. Now, Iowa, they had different coaches the last couple of years from before, and she handled it great in the press conference afterwards. Because, great, this was the Big Ten tournament. Iowa will still make the big dance. That's not an issue. Just winning this would give them a little better. Hey, you beat UCLA, blah, blah, blah. Jan Jensen said they need a glass half full point of view. I like this quote. Shows disappointments and setbacks make losers bitter, but they make winners better.
Okay.
I like that. If it wasn't for so many big words, I'd get that tattooed on my back.
Nice. Yeah.
That's what, disappointments and setbacks make losers bitter, but make winners better. Now, and I didn't watch the game. Was she resting people in the 4th because they were behind by whatever already? I don't know. I hope she did. That's why I think she's probably not that worried about it. Well, we were losing whatever. We got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's kind of like the conference tournament, and it's kind of like some of the bowl games in college football. You see some of these like the Big Ten tournament this year for football. Both teams knew they were making the playoffs, so who really cares? Let's just stay healthy. Well, that's what happens when you let too many people in. So should they limit the 68 teams in the big? No, that's not fighting that one, but I think that maybe been Iowa's attitude in this game. We're in anyway. We're down by a lot in the fourth. Stay healthy. Where's that freshman we got? Get the freshman team in there. Give them all experience to play. They might have to be played later if someone gets hurt. Let's just give them that shot. We'll see. But the way she handled it, I was impressed with that. It was impressed Andy weekend. I was impressed with, like I said before, I was impressed with the Dyna's coach holding everybody back. He could have said, go get them, boys. What do we got to lose? I was also for NASCAR this weekend.
Okay.
Ryan Blaney won. I broke the streak. And so that's something different now, too. Look at NASCAR. He won. So it's got 3 wins for Tyler. Then Blaney wins. He's still 60 points behind in second place. Now, I understand the points. If you know the points in NASCAR, that's a lot after 4 races to be behind by 60. So some of the guys got such a huge lead. The thing to watch now, though, make sure he doesn't piss it away and maybe not be first at the end of the year for the playoff start, but make sure he doesn't lose a spot and not make the playoffs. He's got 3 wins. It's going to be pretty hard not to make the playoffs. But to not piss away that number 1 seed, that number 1 lead all year long, that's going to be the thing to watch. Can you hold number 1 all year long? That's going to be the fun part to watch for NASCAR. Yes, I want to see who wins. I want to see this, that, the other thing. I want to see if Tyler Reddick can hold number 1 all year long. That'll be the one to watch.
It's a long season, but boy, what a big lead he's got. Now, Andy, I've got some WBC news.
The World Baseball Classic.
Not news, but just for those following, the format is kind of confusing. They do the pool play. They're in 4 buckets, and then they get into the actual tournament. Just for those wondering here as we're getting into the final week, it's the rest of the pool play games that you're playing within your other teams within the same pool is going to be Monday today, and a handful of games Tuesday and some on Wednesday. And then Wednesday, they finish up. The standings are done at that point with the pool play with your pool. Pool A, B, C, and D. There's an off day Thursday. Top 2 teams make the actual tournament. So after Wednesday, the teams that aren't in it, they are done. They those players can be going back to their major league teams. You'll see those players back on those rosters. And then when the weekend comes, you'll get those quarterfinals, semifinals, championship game coming up over the weekend for the World Baseball Classic, which should be good. But for the regular guys who aren't in it, the teams that are not doing well, you'll see those back on those major league rosters after the conclusion of Wednesday's game is when the pool play is done this week in 2 days.
Now, if I understand the rules correctly to it, Great Britain won today. They beat Brazil. Now, one of the qualifiers is if you win 1 game this year or 1 game, you automatically qualify for the next World Baseball Classic. So granted, they haven't done well these last couple of times. As long as you win 1 game, you automatically qualify. And also for the World Baseball Classic this year, the America teams, they call it, of us and the DR and everything else, affects who make the Olympics. Now, the U.S. automatically is in because we're the host country this year for the Olympics. Host country gets a representative in every sport. So we're in. Whoever wins the World Baseball Classic is going to be in also, from what I understand. So if the U.S. wins it, that second place, I don't know, do they get the automatic bid? I'd have to actually pay attention to the announcers because at work, I'm not watching baseball all day at work. So I don't know. I have it on as noise, but I'm not seeing graphics that are being put up or other really paying attention. It's kind of just background noise being on. So and I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about these next couple weeks with it, how it's going to affect the Olympics, which I think is wrong because this team won't be the Olympic team. Clayton Kershaw is not going to be on Team USA in 2 years for the Olympics. He's done with this. He's got his contract with Fox, wherever he's going to sit at. I guarantee by 4th of July, Clayton Kershaw's put on 30 pounds. That's like the freshman 15, that first year they retire. Whoop, and good for him too if he does. God bless him. but he's not going to come back. Some of these guys are getting long in the tooth that are on the team now aren't going to come back in 2 more years for the Olympics. There's going to be other younger guys coming up. They're going to be more prominent that might want to put on teams. So, I don't think it's right that the World Baseball Classic and the Olympics should be tied together.
Yeah, it puts them in a strange spot because, like I said, that roster is going to turn over. It may not be the same. It may be similar. Maybe new guys taking injury replacement spots, but it is a tough thing to do when you award the team to make it qualifying, and it may not be the same roster down the road when it happens. So,
I mean, look at pitchers in baseball, for example. Look at back in the 80s. Remember Kevin Brown? He was the man for a couple of years, 3 years there. You couldn't touch him. Okay, say that's Skubal or Skeens right now. They help the team qualify, but they ain't worth their weight in salt in 2 years for the Olympics. And now they're not even on the team. Batters aren't that hit and miss. So many pitchers are 2-3 years. They're hot. They're all this on a bag of chips. I'm not wishing ill on them, but who says those two are going to make on Team USA in 2 years? Something might come up. Contract year. No, I'm sitting out. Oh, I just had Tommy John surgery like the rest of the free world.
Yeah.
We can't bank on that. So that's why I don't think this year's World Baseball Classic should affect teams in the Olympics. Send your hate mail to Andy@sportsandsongspodcast.com.
I like it. Now the Gophers baseball.
Yes.
12-3. Gopher baseball, 12-3. They're wrapping up the non-conference portion of the schedule here this week, and then they kick off the Big Ten schedule here this weekend. But they're not ranked. They're not in the top 25. They're not ranked at all. But they're 12-3, and 2 of their 3 losses were by 1 run each. So that's a team to watch. And we don't really focus a lot on Gopher baseball here, Andy, but this might be the season to do so. They look like they seem to be hitting at all cylinders right from the get-go. This is a good team to watch. And Major League Baseball spring training is in full swing. There's only a week and a half left, maybe 2 weeks, 10 days, something like that. The San Francisco Giants have the best record. We know records don't matter in exhibition spring training, but they have the best record in all of spring training. I went back and looked. They were the best record last year, 2025 spring training. The Giants were the team to beat. And then I went back and looked. Did they have it 3 straight years? No. Baltimore Orioles in 2024 was the team that was unhittable. Now, this doesn't, once again, make any difference, but it was the Orioles in 2024, Giants in 2025. Now, here we go with 10 days left. The Giants are looking to become possibly back-to-back win-loss records. It means nothing but for those Giants fans, it's kind of a fun time of the year this 1 month.
The Twins are 4-14 or something like that?
Twins are 4-11, I think, right now. They have a win against Puerto Rico that didn't count and a win versus the Gophers that didn't count, but they're sitting down there at 4 wins. And double-digit losses. They're one of the worst teams down there, I think, it might be I think it's actually Detroit is the other team that's way down.
And you know what that means? Nothing.
Yes. Another analysis for spring training is how is your record after the 5th inning in spring training? Once you get to once you get to the 5th inning, when your starters are in, what's your record? What's your win-loss differential, your runs against, runs for the first 5 innings? All the subs and the backup guys. Now they've got guys called up that are playing single A ball, double A ball.
Yeah.
The prospects are even getting time to rest on the bench. But, those later innings don't matter. If you watch the games on TV, the crowd even goes away once you get to those later innings.
Yeah.
They're not there to watch. So how are your teams doing in the first 5 innings is a good little gauge there. I heard that. I thought that made some good sense. But Giants are hot once again. I don't know why or if it matters.
Congratulations, speaking of World Baseball Classic, to Japan and Korea for qualifying. Got some nice young games. I mean, I've watched some of these games. I watched Brazil play. They had some nice young players who are prospects on other teams in the majors, but prospects at the AA level. So it was no different than watching a minor league game or spring training game. So a lot of these teams from Brazil or these other countries had some AA or A ball players on it. You might see that name in a couple of years. That might be the team you might see on the Olympic team in a couple of years.
Now, it's like a futures or a fall. It's a fall league game down in Arizona, or a futures game with these young bucks. You'll see those names. Now, the name you mentioned 3 years ago was Harry Ford.
Still plays for
He's all
Great
over the
Britain.
news. You know, the guy, he won a great catcher. And you said 3 years ago, watch this guy, and he's the real deal, Andy.
Yeah,
this guy's
he'll
good.
probably he was a backup in Seattle. Behind, of course, Cal Raleigh comes out of nowhere and has a
Big
monster
dumper.
career. So thanks a lot for ruining Mr. Ford's day in the sun. But I wouldn't be surprised if he gets called up this next year. He's got some stuff. Him and Jazz Chisholm were the only two on Britain this year that were worth a bag of chips. But we'll see. I hope he makes it up. He's a good kid, good young, promising career. But let's see some of these guys make it. He'll at least get a chance anyway.
Now, trivia question.
Yes. Okay, I got an answer.
Do you have any answers? I'm going to bring it up here in a bit, but here's the question for those at home. Trivia question tonight is, in Major League Baseball, in the history of Major League Baseball, what individual has the most home runs hit after their age of turning 40, after they turned 40 years old?
I got two guesses.
Okay.
Julio Franco.
Ooh.
And other one is, I'm just kind of going on a limb here because I don't know how old he was when he retired, but because we don't play the local card very often, but Dave Winfield's the other option.
Here's the answer.
Oh, wow. Winfield's on the list, though.
Hey. Winfield's on the list along with Raul Ibanez, along with Barry Bonds, Darrell Evans with 67.
Evans, forgot about that. I mean, I didn't forget about it, but I forgot about the home run numbers that he.
This is a great stat. Carlton Fisk hit 72 home runs after the age of 40.
Wow.
I did not know that.
Wow, that's pretty good.
But look at the players on that list. Boy, you're still playing Major League Baseball after the age of 40. Something's going good. You're still hitting home runs. That's a different story. There's your answer, Carlton
Fisk. As a catcher.
For those who had it right, yes.
I'd like to know how many hits. I don't think many of his were as a DH either. I don't recall him DHing much. I really don't. I remember him always being the catcher.
That is unreal. And boy, Bonds, Winfield, good pick there with Winfield, the local boy. But there's our answer for tonight's trivia question. Next week at this time, we'll have a little NCAA basketball brackets.
Yes.
And some World Baseball Classic Championship to talk about, and some more fun stuff. But we'll see you next week, everybody. We'll talk sports then.
Happy trails. Happy trails to